Buenas noches, César, ¿cómo está?
Hola, muy bien, gracias.
Bueno, César, voy a hacer una pregunta que posiblemente no tenga nada que ver con el satsang, pero es algo que me ha causado mucha curiosidad. Cuando era joven, tuve una compañía y tuve una quiebra financiera, ¿sí? Y eh, en ese momento, cuando el golpe tan grande de sentir que me había quedado en la calle, prácticamente, me acordé de lo que leía en los libros, que decía que cuando uno quiere saber la solución a algo, que acostarse pensando en una pregunta para encontrar la solución, ¿sí? Cuando yo hice esa pregunta, o sea, yo dije, bueno, voy a intentarlo, porque yo ya no sabía qué hacer con todo el mobiliario que había tenido ahí y qué hacer con todo esto. Y yo me acosté pensando en esa pregunta, ¿sí? ¿Qué debo hacer con todo esto que me está pasando? No sé qué hacer. Me acosté pensando en la pregunta y tuve un sueño. Y el sueño era que un compañero, amigo mío también de trabajo, estábamos a la orilla de un río súper caudaloso y yo me quedé mirando a lo lejos. Yo dije, no, yo no voy a poder pasar a la otra orilla, va a ser imposible, no voy a poder pasar. Y cuando yo volteo a ver, mi amigo no estaba ahí. Y volteo a ver y mi amigo estaba ya había pasado a la otra orilla. Y entonces yo le pregunté, ¿cómo hiciste para pasar? ¿Cómo hiciste para llegar allá? Y entonces me dijo, tranquila, solo lánzate y deja fluir. Solo lánzate y deja que fluya. Y bueno, y yo me desperté y eso fue lo que yo hice. Al otro día en la mañana estaba súper tranquila y todo se empezó a solucionar de ahí en adelante. O sea, eso fue como mágico. Y ahí yo entendí lo que había leído en otros libros sobre eso de lo que dicen de dejar fluir, ¿no? O confiar en eso, que eso se soluciona. Y de ahí empezaron a pasar muchos eventos en mi vida que dejé fluir o confié. Y todo ha sucedido de esos años hacia acá, todo ha sucedido así. O sea, cualquier cosa que me sucede, a veces la gente me pregunta, ¿y qué vas a hacer? Yo no sé, algo sucederá. Y a partir de ahí, César, han pasado muchos eventos también de personas completamente desconocidas que han llegado a ayudarme y es algo que a mí me ha causado mucha curiosidad. Eso que me sucedió, por ejemplo, en el sueño, ¿esa es una respuesta del subconsciente o es una respuesta de dónde, o sea, o es de la conciencia? ¿Qué significa? O sea, ¿de dónde viene esa respuesta? Por lo menos en la parte del sueño.
De ti misma, ríndete. ¿Sí? La respuesta es ríndete.
Sí, eso fue lo que hice. Y esas personas desconocidas que siempre han llegado como a mi rescate, eso es algo que me ha dejado todavía mucho más asombrada porque han sido completamente extraños. O sea, es como si fuera milagroso.
El efecto de la rendición,
Son como milagros.
se puede decir.
Es difícil creer que es uno mismo, ¿no?
Correcto. Lo que pasa es que uno se rinde solamente cuando está en aprietos. luego uno se olvida, porque vienen cosas agradables, entonces uno se olvida, ¿no? La rendición debe ser permanente y rendir es el sentido de individualidad, el ego. Dejar de creer yo soy el cuerpo,
Pero ¿a qué te refieres tú cuando dices que solo, que es rendirse entonces ante lo que no es dificultad? O sea, cuando se está alegre, por ejemplo,
y el ego regresa. El ego está contento porque todo va bien, no hay problemas, todo está tranquilo, todo es agradable, las cosas van fluyendo. ¿Mm?
pero yo he notado que inclusive en situaciones de mucha felicidad para mí, yo he notado que no es la verdad.
Que no es la verdad.
La supuesta alegría o que estoy sintiendo en ese momento por situaciones o eventos o cosas que tengan en el momento. Como si algo me doy cuenta en ese momento que eso no es. Lo que para muchas personas de pronto podría ser un auto nuevo, una casa nueva, un viaje. Yo me doy cuenta en el momento que eso no es.
La verdad es la conciencia. Y eso, al ser un fenómeno, no es la conciencia. ¿Me sigues?
Sí, señor. Ese momento, César, en que yo me doy cuenta de que eso no es, cuando hay una supuesta alegría por algo, eso es indagar, ¿cierto?
No,
¿No?
eso no es tan ilusorio como el que dice eso no es. Indagación es acerca de la naturaleza, de la realidad, del que dice esto es y esto no es, que aparentemente soy yo. ¿Me sigues?
Sí, señor.
Indagación es quién soy yo. ¿Quién soy yo? Es llevar la atención hacia uno mismo, hacia esa conciencia de ser. O mantenerse solo consciente de ser. Esa es indagación. Mantenerse consciente de sí mismo, de uno mismo.
Entonces eso que veo o que siento, bueno, sentir, no, o sea, eso de darme cuenta de que eso no es, ¿qué es entonces?
Eso que no es una ilusión, es la mente, en su forma física o en su forma conceptual o en su forma energética o en cualquier otra forma la puede. ¿Me sigues? De lo que hablas es de la mente en la forma de memoria, pues estás hablando de algo que recuerdas, el pasado, ¿cierto?
Sí, pero para mencionarlo, pero a lo que voy es que cuando lo vivo en en cualquier momento, mm, no sé cómo explicarlo, o sea, siento que eso no es, es como, como si sé que eso no es la verdad. Así es algo como así, es en cada momento, sea felicidad o sea dolor o lo que sea.
No es la verdad, no. Aquello que ve, lo que no es verdad, es la verdad. O el verdadero yo, lo que yo realmente significa. La verdad es conciencia, conciencia es lo que uno es. Cualquier cosa que aparezca y desaparezca, no puedo ser yo. Si yo lo conozco, si yo lo veo, si yo soy consciente de ello, no puedo ser yo, obviamente. ¿Mm? Si yo la veo a ella, ella no soy yo. Si yo veo el árbol, ella no soy yo. Si yo veo el mundo, si yo veo el cuerpo, si yo veo la mente, si yo veo la energía, si yo veo esto y lo otro, nada de lo que veo soy yo. Yo soy aquello que ve, aquello que es consciente, conciencia per se.
No sé, pero hay algo que no comprendo. El darme cuenta de una situación sin definirla o sin identificarme, no es parte, no es autoindagar.
No,
O sea, darme cuenta en ese momento.
no. La indagación es autoobservación.
Por eso yo me estoy autoobservando de lo que está sucediendo.
No, tienes que observar al que está observando lo que está sucediendo para que sepas quién realmente o cuál es la realidad del que está observando.
Sí, eso, sí, sí.
Lo que yo quiero saber aquí es quién soy yo, no qué es esto o qué es aquello o si esto es falso, si esto es verdadero, no. ¿Quién soy yo? Yo quiero saber quién soy yo. Entonces, la curiosidad cae sobre uno mismo, la atención cae sobre uno mismo.
Sí, eso es lo que observo. No sé cómo explicarlo.
Cualquier cosa que observes no es.
Es la mente. Lo que observa es la mente.
El observador también es la mente. Sí. La conciencia está más allá del observador,
Ujú.
más allá del sujeto observador y del objeto observado. El observador es la mente en su forma sutil. El observado es la mente en su forma material.
Entonces eso de hacerse uno una pregunta antes de quedarse dormida es, es como la rendición
No,
en estado de vigilia o no.
la rendición es lo que, lo que te sugirieron en el sueño. Ríndete, olvídate. Si tienes un problema, olvídate del problema. ¿Dónde está el problema si no piensas en él?
Ujú, exacto.
¿Qué es que si no piensas en ello?
Ujú,
¿Y quién eres tú si no piensas yo soy?
sí, y eso es cierto. Yo lo he aplicado casi en toda mi vida y las soluciones han sido asombrosas, mágicas. No sé de dónde han aparecido, pero han aparecido.
No le des tanta importancia a eso tampoco.
Pero tenía curiosidad por saber, pero
Ah, la,
soy yo misma.
la curiosidad es mental, ¿sí?
Bueno, era eso, César. Muchas gracias. Gracias. Bajo la manita.
Tu mente se fue al pasado, ¿sí? La memoria es parte de la mente. ¿Sí? Es parte del aspecto sutil de la mente. El aspecto sutil de la mente es el ego, el conocimiento, que es la memoria, el intelecto, las tendencias, las creencias, las ideas. ¿Sí? Ese es el aspecto sutil de la mente. Y la mente simplemente pum, se fue al pasado, recordó algo que le parece interesante y se lo trae para el presente y le pregunta a alguien, ¿tú qué piensas de esto? O sea, tú estás pensando al respecto, le preguntas a alguien más qué piensas de esto para seguir pensando, ¿sí? Porque se está identificando con el yo que hizo la pregunta, que se le dio la respuesta y que tuvo las experiencias donde todo va, el experimentador y la experiencia, el sujeto y el objeto. La persona y su mundo, ¿sí? Sus recuerdos, sus experiencias. Eso se le conoce en esta escuela como vagabundeos mentales. Y se va vagabundeando por aquí, por aquí. Y llevarla de regreso a su frente. ¿De dónde surgieron esos pensamientos o a quién le surgieron esos pensamientos? Desaparecen los pensamientos, desaparece el pensador. Y queda uno simplemente consciente de ser.
Hi, Cesar.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. So, Cesar, last few days I have been experiencing a lot of fear, and I have actually two questions. So I don't know, should I go one by one or should I tell you both the questions?
Want you have to what? Look at what?
I have two questions, two different questions,
Yes,
two different questions.
one at a time.
Okay. So could you talk about
Recording in progress.
yeah, so could you talk about desire, attachment, and fear? I don't know, it's very personal stuff if I should say it on Zoom.
It is all
Mm,
it is all sort.
okay, so
See, attachment means attached to something. Fear is of something, right? And desire is about something, yes or no?
yes.
That implies the subject and the object. Hmm? And the idea that the subject and the object are two separate entities. See, that needs duality.
Hmm.
So the first thing that we attach ourselves to is one's body, right?
Hmm.
Which is the first thought. See, I am the body. So attachment and identification means the same. Hmm?
Hmm.
And then when I identify myself as the body, then I perceive everything as if it is separate from me, outside of me, see, external to me. Hmm? That brings the idea of the other, right? And then there is the other that I get attached to, the other that I desire, the other that I am afraid of. I'm using the same three words that you are. You
Hmm.
mentioned attachment, fear, and desire.
Yes.
So when the I appears, right, attachment, desire, and fear appears too. If the I disappears, then attachment, desires, and fears also disappear. So all these that you're experiencing is because of the lack of inquiry. because you let the mind to run too far.
So it's okay. So I'll give you some more context to. I mean, it's very personal stuff, but anyway, I'll say. So Caesar, I'm now 41-year-old, and life, for life happened in a way, life forced circumstances in a way in my life that I have been single all my life. I'm a virgin, literally, and and it has caused me so much of suffering over past, I would say, 25 years.
The desire is what is causing suffering, not the fact that you are single.
Yes, but
Maybe it's good luck. Maybe it is a blessing, right? And
what?
maybe it is a blessing and you take it as if it is a curse.
No, but because even though I am single, but I have had so many heartbreaks because I, tried to pursue so many girls, one after another,
Yes, yes.
and each time the girl would just run away.
You're
Uh,
lucky. I'm telling you, you're lucky.
how is being a virgin lucky? Caesar?
First, are you the body? If you're not the body, why you worry if the body is single or married or virgin or not? And don't you have enough trouble with your own mind? And you bring someone else into your life, you bring another mind also into your life, right? It is an idea that we have to be married, that we need to be in a relationship. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, if you are meant to be in a relationship, you will. If you are not meant to be in a relationship, you will not. But you think that you should, and because you shouldn't, then you suffer. And the suffering, the misery is because of the contradictive thought, right? Your idea is fighting with the fact that there is nobody there, right?
No, so the fear started arising because I'm trying to pursue a girl, and the fear is what is going to happen. Will she say yes or no?
Yes,
And
yes. The thought is producing the fear. See, you are creating the fear unconsciously with such thoughts because you think that she should say yes, and then you worry that she may say no. And that thought produces the fear. Remember, whatever is meant to happen will happen. Whatever is not meant to happen will not happen. If you are meant to be in a relationship, you will. Even if you try not to. And if you are not meant to be in a relationship, you will not, even if you try to be in one, right? Then do not force anything. Let things happen by itself. That whatever happens is the best, always the best. We may not see it at first, but whatever happens is for our good. I also have such ideas, especially the spiritual partner, right? That we're going to get enlightened together and have an enlightened life. And all this, that doesn't exist.
Mm.
I mean, life is not an idea. See? Even though it is a thought. All this, the awakening state is a mental state to begin with, right? So we have to focus on this knowledge. We have to focus on this, right? The awakening state is a dream, right? It's a mental state. It's a thought, right? Because mind is not only thoughts, it is also perceptions, right? And energy, and whatever it is mind.
Mm.
Whatever appears and disappears, comes and goes, right, is mind. So what we call I and what we call my life, it is an illusion. Right? It's the mind. And if we believe it is real, then we may look as if we are trapped in it. In reality, we are not even here. What we are is just consciousness. Once reality is completely unaffected by what happens here. You see why it is fundamental. If we want to come, if we want the suffering to come to an end, it is compulsory, see, that this idea that the world is real, that we are this body, it must go. Otherwise, this vicious circle of suffering will never end. Performing actions, running after something or someone, right? Trying to complete oneself, see, to be happy, right?
Mm.
Because that's the idea, no? If I will be happy only when I get my soulmate.
Not soulmate. I mean, at this point, I'm not even, running for soulmate, like just a partner. And yeah, like the idea I have is that unless I get her, I will never be fulfilled.
But I will never be fulfilled. As long as I means body, then suffering is guaranteed. Lola, suffering is guaranteed, right? As long as I means body, right? All that will be there. I means really consciousness. It has no body, it has no mind. It's not the body, it's not the mind, right? It is not even energy or anything. And the second question, did I answer your first question?
Yes. The second question actually leads to it, what you said in the end. The second question is that has to do with my resistance to looking at this eye. You know what, I told you what happened 10 years ago, and
To
since
which,
then I have been postponing. What?
to which eye you're resisting to look at?
In this individual eye.
Ah, of course. You see, because if you look at it, it goes away.
And I don't even realize, even though as I'm saying to you this, I see that I still don't realize my resistance to this eye. I'm just saying, for saying sake, at a very superficial level, I see the resistance, but I feel like, no, I don't have resistance. Like my mind is saying, no, no, I don't have resistance. So, but at a very superficial level, I see that I have resistance. And when I'm looking at my life over the past many years, even though you know, when you were here in Tiru, I don't know, you told me 1,000 times to look at this eye. And over past so many years, like I keep postponing looking at it, and my mind always has an excuse that why, you know, you are busy, you are this, you are that. Look at your, you know, you have so much psychological issues. You resolve
You are
those.
looking for something except this I.
Yes, all the other psychological issues, everything else, but except this I.
The mind is creating the excuse to look for something else, not to look at itself, because if it look at itself, it is becomes obvious that it is non-existent because it disappears. Because
Another,
the mind cannot exist without the other. See, the subject cannot stand without the object. So it's always looking to an object. See, it's always looking for an object or running away from an object in order to sustain itself. See, to survive, to remain as a separate individual self, as an individual, right? As a self, right? Which is not, it's just a thought. The individual self doesn't exist because it is a thought. This is thought, I am the body. This is why it is called the I thought. This I is a thought. This individual self is a thought. And it is also called mind, ego, person, jiva, and so on. It doesn't exist. It doesn't really exist. It appears to exist, but it actually doesn't exist.
another thought that, you know, keeps is very persistent, and I don't know for how long, for how many months or years, is that you know, it keeps saying to me, what is going to happen even if you look at this eye? What will happen? You know, you can keep looking at this eye, nothing will happen.
These are also thought, right? That's the mind talking to itself. And you see what is this I, who is this I, or see from where this I arises. And see what the mind is, or see from where the mind arises, and it disappears. It has to. This formula cannot fail. Right? Whoever applied this formula succeeded. Mind is thought. Apart from thought, there is no mind. It's as simple as that. So mind is person, ego, individual, call it whatever you like. Mind is body identity. It gives the impression that I, which is consciousness or the self, is the body, or that it is limited to the body. This is the very cause of suffering. Birth, illness, aging, death. If you want to get out of that vicious circle, this idea must go. I am the body idea must go. And we are not even aware of how many tendencies are there. How many predispositions, see, based on one's beliefs and ideas and thoughts, likes and dislikes and so on. Body attachment means body identity. And this is why we want to develop more attachments, more attachments, more attachments. This is why we desire more objects. And this is why we are addicted to action. Because the activity is supposed to lead to the acquisition or satisfaction of the desire, right? To get the object of desire. Repeat experiences, right? Again and again and again. There's more action and more action and more action. See? That is samsara. And that is karma. What else?
So what is the what is the way out of desire?
To give up the ego. Ego is the root of desire. What you desire is an object, right?
Yes.
And you're going to perceive it, enjoy it through the senses, right? Through the body. Yes or no?
Yes.
Then body identity must be there. I am the body, therefore I want to experience that object there, right? So I desire that. I desire that. See, as long as it means body, see? As long as I am the body idea is present, which is the ego, then all that will be there. If the I is removed, then who is left to have any desires or anything else? Right?
But Caesar, how the pleasure seeking stops with the removal of this ego? How? Because pleasure is sensation.
Pleasure is a physical sensation.
Yes. So how does pleasure seeking
All
want
the
to search for pleasure?
you don't have to worry about pleasure and pain. They will present themselves, right? Because of your previous thoughts, words, and actions. See, in the previous chapter, right? So they will present themselves. We don't need to look for more. Let's the seed to dry up, right? I understand it is hard. Everybody struggles with desires, right? But all the root of all troubles, right? All suffering, all misery, all confusion, right? Is the ego. It has to be uprooted if we want all that to come to an end. How? The ego needs to be merged, has to be merged in its source, which is consciousness, which is no other than one's own self. To give up desire by desire, tendency by tendency, it doesn't work. Because if you don't remove the ego, you will develop, for sure, another desire, another tendency. See, you will develop another idea, another concept, right? And then you will follow it. See, you will run after it. So the I thought, which is the very sense of individuality, has to be merged in its reality, see, in its source. By the means of inquiry. In deep sleep, there is no body, there is no world, there is no mind, there is no desire, and everybody is bliss out, right? So in deep sleep, you are experiencing or knowing nothing but yourself, because that blissfulness of deep sleep is your natural state. But it's very difficult to know it in deep sleep. Only
Yes.
you can know yourself as this blissful, nameless, formless consciousness in the awakening state. For that, the only thing that needs to be done is to remove the thoughts. It's authorized from you as consciousness, right? This is what you are told to look at yourself, right? You look at yourself at the beginning, believing that you are the ego. But then you, looking at yourself, then you will find that you as the ego disappear. And then you as consciousness remain. See? This is not rocket science. See, what makes it difficult are all these tendencies and all these desires and all these ideas and all that. Right? Which is the mind itself, right?
Hmm.
Mine is I and this. I want this. Mine is I and this, right? I and that. I and this. I and you. Duality. I and this. I and that. Subject, object. This is what the mind is. The answer to your question. La respuesta a tu pregunta. What else?
I have one more question, but I don't know if I should ask because I'm taking too much time probably.
Oh, finish with that.
Okay, so I struggle with this desire to impress. I you know I struggle with two things: the fear and the desire that is related with my self-image. That I struggle with the desire to impress you or to impress the other teacher there where I go, and sometimes I don't have any question, but I will think, but I will come up with a question, and I will see that I really, I already know the answer, but I am still asking this question so that I can impress
Because
her.
the
Or
ego is looking for recognition
hmm.
to validate itself, right?
And why is that?
Because otherwise, if the ego is ignored, it
Hmm.
disappears. If you ignore your own mind, it disappears. Instead of paying attention to thoughts, you pay attention to the thinker, which made the thinker to ignore its own thoughts. Cannot survive, see, because it needs thoughts. It needs an object, right? It needs the other to recognize it also, right?
there is also a lot of fear of, what if the teacher judges me as, immature or stupid or
The teacher will never judge anybody. The judge is the ego. The ego is the judge. It is judging itself, right?
mm,
The ego may point to some traps or some confusion or some mistakes, if you wish. Right? The seeker may take it sometimes as a judgment, but it is not.
mm,
It's trying to help the seeker to remove the obstacle, trying to make the seeker to become, see, about something that it is, right? Producing a trouble, right? Creating a trouble for the seeker and for the whatever is around the seeker, whoever is around the seeker. It's basically for the good of the seeker. The guru doesn't get anything out of that. If you wake up, the guru doesn't get any benefit, right? If you don't wake up, the guru doesn't get any punishment. See, there are no rewards for this.
no, I'm not. I don't feel fear of a teacher pointing out a mistake. That's not the fear. Fear is more of an image of mine, like what, like what he is going, what the teacher is going to think of me, as like.
You are worried about this self-image, see, because this self is image, imaginary. See, it's imagination, it is mental. Hmm? And I hope the guru have a good image of me, right? So my image can survive, see? This is why when the guru ignores the seeker, right, the seeker feels humiliated, it feels judged, it is feel abandoned, it feels, I don't know, discarded, rejected, humiliated, right? Because it wants attention. And what better attention? The attention for the seeker of the guru is better than the attention of the wife and the children, see, because it's the highest level of attention, right? So it makes it even higher.
And sometimes when the appreciation comes from teacher, then there is pleasure.
Of course,
So, and so,
ego gets elated, right?
uh, and so it runs for the pleasure and away from.
And the pleasure that the seeker is enjoying is a byproduct of its own thinking. See? So this self-satisfaction is actually satisfaction because it's produced by the seeker's mind. Oh, he looked at me today and told me that I am so good and progressing and the thought about itself. He's enjoying the thoughts about itself, right? And he's suffering from the thoughts about itself, right? Or the others, right? Or enjoying the thoughts about the others, right? So it is all thought. So we go back to the same point. Instead of looking at the thoughts, let's look at the source of the thought. Let's find out from where the thought arises. Obviously from me, isn't it? Then who am I? Who am I means, let me look at myself. It's about to remain self-aware. That's all. To be aware of this of the very knowledge I am. So, but that only you can do. That is self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is self-awareness, self-observation. Where we pay attention to nothing but oneself. Like eyes looking at I, me looking at myself. Without thoughts or perceptions to distract you. So to be single is a good thing because you're going to be less distracted. That's it. This is the single advice, simple advice. You may perceive objects, you may be aware of the surroundings, and maybe a thought passing by, right? But the focus on attention is on me, right? The very one that is conscious of the thought and perception, right? So you can become aware of yourself. What is your reality? What is it that you really are? This is to be self-realized. To be self-realized is to become aware of oneself as the self or conscious. Okay. We'll give a chance to. I just noticed that there is only 10 minutes left. Give a chance to Terry.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Terry, you remember your guys? You remember Terry? He was in Tiro also last time. I was there. Remember from Australia?
No, okay, I don't. I remember this girl from Europe who.
Of course, if it is a girl, you will remember.
No, because she was asking you to keep reminding her.
Huh?
She used to ask you to keep reminding her to of what she has discovered. So that's why I remember her.
Okay, because she was spiritual. It's okay. I'm just teasing you. Never mind. Okay, let me just talk to Terry because time is coming to an end. I don't know how long it'll be there.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, Cesar.
Hi, Terry.
I was chatting to Shani yesterday just about spirituality, and I'm noticing that there's still a lot of new age type concepts in my mind about being sensitive to energy and um, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think I've resolved the Christianity type beliefs, so they're not so strong. But the spiritual kind of thoughts, the New Age type thoughts, they still seem to be quite strong, I guess.
No. See,
So
more the mind is, more quiet the mind is, more sensitive we become, right? There's no doubt about it. But if the mind is still is there, so it will present itself as a sensitive why, see, as a sensitive guy, the one that it is sensitive to energy, right? And it seems to be disturbed or affected by it and wants to change it, modify it, transform it, avoid it, right?
uh-huh.
So the New Age is concerned about all that stuff, right?
Right.
In reality, we shouldn't be concerned about it. Because wherever you go, everything is energy. So the mind is energy. Matter is condensed energy. Thought is energy, not materialized, or it is materialized, but it is more subtle, right?
Right.
So you as consciousness cannot avoid energy because it is inseparable from you, right?
Uh-huh.
But you as consciousness are completely unaffected by any form of energy or whatever form the mind takes.
Yeah. Last weekend you were saying, don't pay attention to that, pay attention to source.
Yeah.
And it seems like
See, let's say that you go to a funeral, or you go to the office, or you go to a cafe, or you go to a meeting with friends, right?
mhm,
And then you pick up some energy, some vibration, whatever it is. The concern shouldn't be about the form that the energy is taking place in that moment, right?
right,
Who is experiencer, right?
right. Okay.
We must get rid of the experiencer. You cannot get rid of anything else. You can't.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
about that. It's not about changing anything or transforming nothing. Who is experiencer? Sorry. Oh. Who is experiencer?
Hmm.
Whether the sensation, if we perceive something, right? Or the physical sensations, right? The energy in the body itself, right?
Right.
Pleasure and pain, they are forms of energy. So sensitivity is not actually the problem. See? It's a sensitive guy, right? And then, oh, I pick up these signals and like, oh, see, and it creates a whole story around, right? And consider that to be spirituality, and to be able to feel these things, and now you're going to transmute it and channelize it or release it or something, right? Neutralize it or whatever. See, voodoo thing you want to do that.
It's more how the hell can I get away from it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's a pleasant, because it can be pleasant or it can be unpleasant, right? I mean,
Yeah, sure.
you can run away from that or avoid it by all means. If you can't, then bear it until it disappears or it changes or it stops or you have managed to go away or itself remove from your way.
Okay, so inquiry into who is the experiencer.
Correct. See, spirituality can be summarized in a very simple way. The word spirit means consciousness. And spirituality is to know oneself as consciousness or the spirit. It's not about anything else.
Yeah,
You are the spirit, but we believe to be a soul, right? An individual soul, right? That is transmigrating from body to body, or it's living in this body and having these experiences, material or spiritual, or we are spiritual beings. All these are just belief, thought. It's nothing but thought, right? We are the universe becoming aware of itself. How can the universe become aware of anything if it is insentient? Right? All this is spiritual gibberish. Oh God. I have to be with spiritual people, now with material people. I have to live in this place, not Jesus, guys. All this, my God, that's a mission, right?
but having said that, I mean, I'd rather be with someone that's peaceful than not.
There is no question about it. The thing is, can it happen? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Ramana sometimes was seated on a sofa, right? And the hall was
Right.
pretty big, right? And the hall was very noisy. Sometimes people were talking. You can, right? He was okay. Sometimes the hall was very quiet. People say sometimes it was so quiet that you can hear a pin drop.
Because he was totally absorbed in the source.
Huh?
Because he was totally absorbed in source.
Sometimes he wasn't aware of everything. Even the infinite energy that the mind is wants more energy.
Mhm.
He wants more energy than the energy that already is. Oof, right? He's so greedy, right? Let me channelize it, distribute it, reorganize it evenly so it's not more here than there. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, this might happen, right? So all what the fruitcakes wants to experience by the means of practice and techniques and efforts and happens by itself. By not wanting a thing.
A good money-making exercise, though.
Huh?
It's a good money-making exercise.
Oh yes, you want to make money, you go for it. You're gonna make millions. Moderation, right? If there is a rule, it's just moderation. Even in the exercises. Food, speech, right? Activities, so on.
But you said you were a fanatic when you were
Oh yeah,
speaking.
in general, right? In general.
I would have thought you'd have to be a fanatic
I
to
could
be.
I couldn't do anything halfway. Whatever it was is full on. You're gonna party until the sun shines, right? Sport until the body resists, right? So I used that against myself when I went to India. I
It
said,
seems like you have to be a fanatic in this.
there must be this determination, one can say, right? They are not moving from here until I ring the bell. I will not stop inquiring until I find out finally what is it that I am really. If that determination is not there, it's not going to work. That doesn't mean that it might not increase. In the course of time, right?
Right.
The why it is not so intense at the beginning because I want to know something else, right? Other than myself, right? I'm interested in anything else,
Yeah.
not in myself. This is to pay attention to yourself. This is true self-love.
Yeah, sure.
And the tendencies comes, right? They arise and produces an action towards repeating an experience, right? Or the tendency to repeat an action, right? Action, doing, and doing, and doing, right?
Yeah.
Towards pleasure, right? Towards pleasure and away from pain. See, I'm trying to get this and avoid that, right? And this and that, I already know. See, I want more of what I know and nothing of what I know if it is unpleasant. Right? This is the so-called karma, see, samsara. It's endless movement, right? Vicious circle.
Yeah.
All these desires that were not satisfied, right? At the moment of death, they stay suspended, right? And how can they be not satisfied? They need another body, right? Through which that movement can be repeated, recreated. Right?
Right.
So, what else?
That's good. Thanks, Cesar.
You're welcome. Okay, see you later. Say my regards to Shan.
Yeah, we'll do. She's in America at the moment.
Where?
She's in the USA visiting her family.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Cool. Ok, nos vemos entonces mañana.